Last time on Square Roots, we make like a tree and leaf the swamps for some floating islands before heading for the fanciest bird's nest you'll ever see. Also, we discover that our new friend Ricky loves to procreate. Yeah, you fluffy little puffball, you get it.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by, oh man, I haven't played enough of this game to have a funny name for John. John, I'm going to say Big Boy Brandon.
As you might imagine, being able to smell hunger, horniness, and anxiety made high school and college a sensory pleasure for me.
And also joined by Vanessa.
Get off me!
Matt is not here. He currently has diarrhea. Bad diarrhea.
Yeah. Matt has the post-Christmas runs. We did write some songs about it today.
We did write him some diarrhea carols this morning.
I'd like to share one with you now. It goes,
Wow, I missed all this when I was sleeping.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, and Matt's butt is feeling spiteful. But he's on the toilet, so let it flow, let it flow, let it flow.
I think mine was poop. They told me fart.
It was.
Oh, good times. Matt really appreciated it.
He loved it. Oh, I wrote another verse. I'm going to share it with you now because it's just gold. When he finally shits goodnight, how Matt hates to go out in the storm, but with liquid poo down his tights, at least his legs will be warm.
Oh, that one's graphic.
That's disgusting.
Hey, you know, I just report on the facts here.
I guess I should also say that this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs, one chunker at a time. We're not all diarrhea talk.
No, but at least 48%, I would say.
Yeah, especially, I mean, now.
No, I don't like
now
it.
on Boxing Day of all days. If you're listening to this podcast when it releases.
Happy Boxing Day, everyone.
Johnny, can you explain Boxing Day, please?
Well, there is a Gerenuk called Vanessa the Boxing Day Gerenuk, and she goes by the houses of every child in Canada, and if they've been good, she treats them to Boxing Day deals, which is a lot like Black Friday, basically, you know, getting rid of excess inventory after Christmas, unsold merchandise, and if they're bad, she sets their houses on fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're really bad, they make you watch Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I did come up with the concept of Vanessa, the Boxing Day Gerenuk in like 2012, so it has nothing to do with Vanessa, the co-host.
That's very good and important to share, and also a little bit weird. Like one of those life coincidences.
It's true. It's true.
Vanessa is a popular name.
Yeah. I there was that one Vanessa in my grade. Remember, she's real into MLMs now.
She's a girl boss.
Yep.
Did you all see that thing floating around the internet that would tell you whether your name was a human name or a dog name?
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, everyone was going crazy for it. I think it was in the Washington Post or something like that, or the Guardian. And you enter your name, and it tells you, like, in a stadium of 10,000 people, how many humans would be named your name and how many dogs. There are dogs there, too.
How would Vanessa go?
It was a human name.
What? And Jimmy?
I didn't do you guys.
Oh. Okay, well, thanks for not preparing, I guess.
Well,
It was a Washington Post thing, you say?
Yeah, something like that. I assumed that like 2 internet savvy guys like you would have seen this. It was the hot trend.
Oh, I found it.
Ah, Jim found it.
Well, I'm not on
Hold on,
Twitter as much right now.
I'm going to put my name in here. Jim. Jim is a mostly human name.
What about Johnny?
Johnny is mostly human, although less human than Jim.
Okay.
What about Jimmy, I wonder? Old Jimmy. Jimmy's very human.
Oh,
Jimmy is a firmly human name.
Oh.
What about Flash?
Flash is very firmly dog. Flash is a dog name.
What about Porky?
Porky. Porky is a dog name.
What about Jack?
What about Jack? Jack is a dog and human name. And what about Chungus? Name not found.
Oh.
And what about Matt?
Matt. Matt is a mostly dog name. What about Diarrhea Matt?
I don't think they're going to have that joke.
Oh, name not found.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we do on this show? We're off to a great start. Very focused.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, I had to cough.
There's always hot gaming news to discuss.
Yes, there is hot gaming news. I put one thing in there this week. We talked. I can't remember if we talked about this. I feel like this was a Friday piece of news. Vanessa, did you hear about how the FTC has fined Fortnite like half a trillion? Half a trillion? Or is it half a billion?
Half a billion.
Half a billion. Yes, I did, Johnny. I don't think we talked about this on the show. I think we just talked about it.
Yes, and we talked about the different Quebec lawsuit with the parents.
Yes.
Fortnite. Yeah.
In this, the finding is that Epic used privacy-invasive default settings and deceptive interfaces that tricked users, including children.
Well, like they would on PC, they would switch confirm like buy and don't buy. It's called dark interfaces. It's like the
That's
dark
so
design.
Tricky.
Yeah, they did a lot of that kind of stuff, and they stopped doing it a couple of years ago. But
apparently, there was like some kind of auto confirm, like if you were going back to Fortnite from like a sleep mode or something like that. There was some kind of like auto confirm trigger in it where it would like trigger a purchase sometimes.
Oh wow,
very weird.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's not great.
yeah.
And they would also ban people for disputing charges, like saying, "Oh, my kid charges the account." And they'd be like, "Okay, well, we're going to ban your account, and the hundreds of dollars you've spent are now null and void." And that's bad too.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible.
And they would
It's
also
as if
like
they weren't making loads of money anyway, and probably would have without these tricks.
Well, I will scold my friend who works at Epic.
But even in like $500 million is a lot of money for like you or I. But will it make even a dent in Epic's pocketbook? Maybe.
Probably not. I think
I bet they make a lot of revenues, but I mean, $500 million off your bottom line is a lot.
I think someone said that was 30 days their operation income or something.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
It's still a lot, though, to lose a whole month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they'd have
they'll probably make it up in
have
layoffs.
that in cash. Yeah. Oh, no.
That's probably bad for their... Are they publicly traded?
No,
I bet it was probably not good for their stock value, I would assume.
Nor for their goodwill in general, I would say.
Yeah. But their BBB rating is not very good.
Big burly boy rating.
What other hot gaming news is there?
That's all I got.
Yeah, that was my story, too.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's it's slow season.
Oh,
it's the holidays.
there was a investigation, like one of those public watchdog groups in the UK that claims that the Joy-Con drift on the Switch Joy-Cons is the result of a design flaw and not like damage. You know how I got mine replaced for free as like a goodwill thing that they do in some territories? They don't do that in England. But and Nintendo has said in response that it's only a small percentage of users who experience Joy-Con drift. But according to like this Watchdog Group's experiments, every Joy-Con they've had that has been used for more than a couple of months already develops that problem where like it basically your character can move on their own sometimes, like if you're not touching the Joy-Con.
That's a significant design flaw.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's instead of using the Hall method of joystick, that's the other method where and they're using these plastic boards that easily like wear away, and yeah, there's a whole thing to it. Basically, they could have engineered it like in a different way, but it's not just Nintendo; it's also Microsoft and Sony switched to the cheaper switcher boards for their analog controllers in the last generation. That's why, like, I had drift on a couple of PlayStation controllers as well, but the older ones did not have this because they used a more expensive mechanism, and those things aren't cheap. And the cost difference in parts is like 50 cents or something. It's not some major investment to have ones that don't do this.
It doesn't seem good, and it feels like a sort of trend all over the place these days. I don't know, things just feel like they're getting cheaper to me. You know what I mean? Like, not cheaper to buy, but cheaper in quality.
That's what we've been saying for the past, like, 300 years.
I guess that's true.
Remember
It used
when
to be
TVs...
if you wanted a controller, you would go to the local village blacksmith and the carpenter, and they'd work together to handcraft you one.
You get a Joy-Con made out of wood, and the analog stick would be ivory, which I guess is, thinking about it, there's some downsides to that too. Like,
yeah, there were some ethical issues, but
I preferred mine made out of human bone.
Yeah, or just bone in general. Like, we have lots of excess bones from all the other animals we eat and kill.
Yeah, I mean, and humans have hundreds of bones in their bodies. I mean, they can spare some for capitalism.
Yeah.
Actually, I got a little storage box off Amazon the other day, and I did not realize that I was ordering a bone box, but I'll show it to you.
Is it
Here
made
it
out
is.
of bone?
It's made out of bone.
It's made out of bone?
What?
Well, it's got, like, bone on top. Can you see that, like, pattern?
Oh, yeah, that's bone?
Yeah, it's made out of wood, but then it has some bone. So I looked it up, and it is made out of bison bones from New Zealand.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
I thought it was going to be a box full
box?
of bones.
What I put in my box is all the things that I need to keep near me when I'm podcasting. For doing a good podcast job. So I have my lip gloss. I have my stone face roller in case my jaw gets tight. I have this little brush, which is also for the face, so you can kind of brush like excess skin off your face and do some ASMR stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, just brush the microphone.
Yeah, I'll just brush the microphone. I have my toenail clippers. I've got one of those dongly things that converts your headphones to a phone in case I need to call in on my phone. I have a cloth for wiping off my electronic devices. I've got my hand cream. I have a pen because you never know when you might need a pen.
That's a nice high quality pen. It's not.
It's nice pen.
It's not a.
Looks like it's got good hand feel.
Yeah.
I have a different other kind of lip gloss.
Okay.
And I have, in this case, some pods.
Oh, got some AirPods.
Yeah, they're not though. They're like knockoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a
so-
stuffed animal behind you, or is that like part of this robe you're wearing?
This is neither part of the robe, nor is it a stuffed animal. This is a blanket with a hood on top and pockets, and it also has like a little tie, so you can wear it like a cape, essentially. But I'm not wearing it right now because I did get a nice new thick robe to wear today.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's
Everyone's
been
nestled.
what's in Vanessa's box, our
Bone
most
box.
popular segment.
Yeah. Our new segment.
Bone box.
It's in Vanessa's box?
What's
Bone
in
box.
Vanessa's bone box?
Come on. All right.
Well, that was some good gaming news.
Thanks, listeners. We're glad you stuck through that.
Why wouldn't they? Unboxing is so hot right now.
It's true.
It is. Especially when people can't see what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
I'm going to branch into audio unboxing where I just describe the items.
I don't even want to hear what's in the box. I just want to hear you react to stuff. Be like, good.
Oh.
Yeah. You're like, oh.
Oh.
I've actually been watching, and this is my most secret shame. I've been watching a lot of videos of people opening advent calendars. So, like, there's a lot of YouTubers who for December will be like, I'm going to open an advent calendar every single day. And they open every door, and you get to see what's behind each little door. And then they talk about, like, what it looks like or how it smells or how it feels on the skin, because it's usually beauty products. And they're amazing. I love it. I will never stop until Christmas, and then I'll stop because it's just not appropriate to do it after that.
Yeah, it's rude.
Yeah.
It would be rude.
It's like wearing white after Labor Day.
So, Jim, how did you level up?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Johnny. I finished my playthrough of Ghost of Tsushima, and I will say that is a very good game. I don't know that it's a game that Vanessa would enjoy because a lot of the combat is around, like if you want to get really good at it, you got to get really good at timing your blocks and parries.
I hate putting in effort to get good at things. I just want to be good at
Yeah.
it automatically.
But it's fun. The upgrades are good. I liked the side character missions. I liked all the side quests. I liked the crafting component, like upgrading your sword and your knife. I like the stealth part of it. There's a lot of variability to the gameplay. Like if you find a Mongol camp, there's a lot of different ways you can go about killing the Mongols. You can sneak up on them and assassinate them, or you can just walk right up to the gate and challenge them to a standoff and kill them in a very dramatic fashion. It's a fun game. I really enjoyed it. And I also today played a couple hours of Chained Echoes, that new like 2D pixel RPG. It's on Game Pass right now. And I don't know that I like it very much. It's really hard. Even though your character is completely heal after every battle, the battles are tough. Like I beat a boss earlier today, and then I got to the point where I could explore the map, and I was running around and just got into a battle with these 3 random crabs on a beach, and they beat the hell out of me. Party wiped me. 3 little crabs. So I don't know that I'm gonna play a lot more of that game. Plus, it's really buggy. When I first tried it a couple weeks ago, I guess I went to a place the game didn't expect me to go, and I triggered a series of cutscenes that were supposed to happen like 2 hours in the future after like a boss battle and a couple dungeons. And then when I got through those cutscenes, it just cut to a black screen and I couldn't do anything. So there's a lot of bugginess to it. I've noticed that like before I even had characters in my party, I would go speak to random people in this first town that you're in, and it was triggering dialogue from characters that I didn't even have in my party yet, or that hadn't even been introduced in the game yet. So there's a lot of bugginess to it. I know it's going to appeal to a lot of our listeners because it's a fun kind of throwback RPG, looks kind of Chrono Triggery, but it's just not for me. So that's how I leveled up. Vanessa, How did you level up?
Well, it's holiday time, Christmas time, fun time, winter time. And I leveled up by going to see the most classic Christmas movie of all, It's a Wonderful Life, on the big screen in the big screen theater. This was a movie I had seen many, many times before, but I took my friend who had never seen it before, and I wrote down before the movie 2 things that I believed would outrage her during the watch. And I am going to offer up some spoilers for It's a Wonderful Life right now. I wrote down Uncle Billy loses money, and I wrote down no justice, because everyone hates Uncle Billy and his losing of the money, which is the catalyst for George Bailey's horrible breakdown. And also, at the end of the film, nobody comes for Mr. Potter and realizes that he has stolen the money. There's no justice. Everyone just kind of carries on with their life, and the status quo is maintained.
Have you seen the Saturday Night Live sketch where they show the original ending, and Phil Hartman, I think, is playing Mr. Potter? Oh, that's great.
Yes, and they go and just beat the crap out of him. And when the movie was over, she looked at me and she goes, "There was no justice." Direct quote. So I took out my phone and showed her where I had written it down, and now she thinks I'm a witch. Other things I did to level up. Well, I told you how I've been opening up all those advent calendars. I was sitting at home, minding my own business, and looking at Twitter, which I still go on because it's my job to maintain our branded account. And I saw someone who I follow had responded to something about, what's your family's weird holiday traditions? So I thought, hey, I got one. And I wrote that in my family, what we do is we put riddles on the to from tag to give you hints about what's inside. And it will be riddles based on, the from will indicate who you got the gift from. So if you're getting a book, it might say from that particular author, and then you can guess, oh, I bet it's the book by this particular author I like. Or
I saw that you posted a picture of a tag that said from Hephaestus. I'm assuming that is that jewelry?
No,
from Pandora.
That is the Horizon Zero Dawn Lego set.
Oh.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with? Oh, because of the game. Oh.
See, so it's like that.
I get it.
Yeah, it's fun, right? It's great. Yeah. So I sent that and didn't think that much about it. And then this guy wrote back and had 8 different questions about it. It really stuck in his little imagination. So I did answer those questions, and they talked about it on the show. And then I put on my personal Facebook, hey, they talked about my tradition on this show. It's a British show, which I frankly do not listen to because how could I? I can't, except with the internet, which is how I did. So I stuck it up there, and more than one of my personal Facebook friends came at me with, "That was you? I can't believe it." That made me laugh. I thought that was a fun level up. Just put yourself out there in the world. You never know what will happen. I didn't do anything.
I listened to that episode. It's real. She's not making that up.
I'm not making it up. Why would I make that up? It's a true story. Johnny, how did you level up?
All right. Well, first of all, I kind of leveled down because I heard about this Big Boy song by SZA, and I haven't been able to watch the Saturday Night Live video, which it is from, because of region issues, and it's locked on Saturday Night Live's thing as a region locked thing. So
yeah, NBC is really weird with their YouTube rights on stuff.
I'm sure I could like go through the CTV app maybe to find it. I'll have to go looking into.
In
how to
Canada,
watch that.
do you have to consume so many hours of Canadian content before they let you consume American content?
There's going to be they're trying to implement harsher rules on streaming to have enforce more Canadian content. So I don't know how that'll play out. I can't see them making you watch Canadian stuff. I can't see that working right. But I just think
do you have to buy a license like in the UK to watch TV?
No. No, you do not.
You have to buy a license to watch TV in the UK?
Yeah, it pays for BBC and all that.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like to watch over-the-air television. To own a TV, you have to pay a license in the UK.
Like if I wanted to hook up an antenna and
Sorry, say that again?
Antenna. I know it's antenna. If I want to use an antenna and just capture some waves over the air, I have to pay the government?
Yeah. This is what happens with socialism. That's why it's bad. JK.
Yeah, and that's why
right
we
into
support
those royals' pockets.
the reduction of the NHS. And don't think those nurses should be striking because we're... Yeah, sorry.
There's so many editorials like that right now in Canada of like, see, this is why we should have an American style system. They aren't facing the same kind of pressures that all the socialized medicine people are. Yeah, that's because no one's going to their fucking hospitals because they can't afford it. That's not a good thing either.
No. The solution is not just let poor people die.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what they're trying to do with their reductions to the NHS.
Yeah, and same in Canada. Although in Canada, and same within England, that NHS and the Canadian healthcare system are both super popular, and even conservative groups have a very hard time. They'll try by doing like Weasley little things like this, but usually get like people want to have access to that. Once you get it, you don't want to go to a single payer, no matter how many paid for editorials show up in every single Canadian newspaper about how great the Americans. It's bonkers. Anyway, so also I've tried out The Witcher 3, which has had a next generation update. However, I did play it on PC, where the next generation update is terrible.
Oh, no.
It's just bad. It runs terribly on my nice computer. And I've messed around with options to try and make it run well, but it doesn't. And it runs way worse than Cyberpunk, but doesn't look as good as Cyberpunk. So there's something wrong. Which sort of goes to show that there's a big issue right now with PC ports. There's just a lot of really bad PC ports coming out that do not perform as well as the console versions, even though you might have a much more powerful computer. But these are just sloppily made ports and stuff, and they'll get patched. But Callisto Protocol came out broken on PC and is still not great on PC.
Yeah, man, that game. I played that game. I don't know that I talked about it on the show. I did play it.
Well, you did, and Vanessa couldn't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Last time.
I thought it was called Chrysalis.
Yeah, Crystallis.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a sec. It runs way worse than the game did before, which sure that makes some sense because the graphics are better, but they aren't that much better. And now it just runs bad on my fairly high end. It's a 3080, which is higher end than
pretty good.
It's pretty good, but it runs terribly. So I don't know. I hope that they fix that because I do want to. Honestly, I bet if I finish this game, it will be because we played on Square Roots. That is my guess. Although I'd maybe want to play Witcher 1 or 2 first. I also have been playing. Let's see. What have I been playing? There's been Xenoblade and. I've been playing other stuff too, though. Oh yeah, I've been playing a lot of Borderlands, just for something fun and easy to play. Yeah, that game's good. There's still some problems with the writing. I'm getting pretty far in it. And I played more High on Life. That game, I went through the first 3 contracts. How long until I get to the RLM? Which contract is that will get me the RLM gun?
You need I don't know. I don't think there's an RLM gun.
Oh, okay.
But like if you buy you can buy the data discs with the warp crystals. So you collect the warp crystals from the warp things. If you go to the food vendor in the city, he sells these warp discs that you can get with you buy with the crystals. Mm-hmm. And if you buy the theater one and use that warp disc in a warp disc area, it will warp in a theater. And in the theater, the RLM guys are watching a movie.
Yeah. But I think High on Life, it's kind of got mediocre reviews. But if you like the Rick and Morty community, or Red Letter Media style, I definitely talked to a NPC that was 100% Mike from Red Letter Media. I was like, oh, it's Mike.
I was reading that they used not only AI art, but they used AI voice acting for some of the NPCs, which is terrible.
Yeah, that's not great.
I will say we had talked about I had pitched the idea of doing a bonus on High on Life last week, and the more I thought about it, the more I knew that I was just going to be kind of negative about it. Like, I liked the gameplay is fun, but goddamn, the humor just grates on me. Like, it seems like a lot of interactions with NPCs are them calling you a piece of shit or them threatening to commit suicide. That seems like a good 50% of like NPC interactions.
But there's some jokes I liked. There's quite a few jokes.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's all bad humor, but the stuff that grated on me, like all the suicide jokes, I hated that shit.
Yeah.
Hated it.
I understand. All right, how about we crack open the quest log? Are you ready to go on an adventure, Vanessa?
Yeah.
So the quest log. We start in Alchemoth. If you remember last time, Malia had become Empress and had her big episode 1 style speech thanking the voters or her genetic line or whatever. She got her ancestors approved her promotion to Empress.
Crown Princess, now, thank you very much.
Oh, is that what she is now?
Mm-hmm.
But it looked like Malia's mom wasn't punished. Did they not connect the two? That these assassins were sent by the first consort?
Yeah, I don't think they know that.
Huh, okay. I mean, we know that because it keeps cutting back to them. Speaking of cutting to, it cuts to Alvis having this ominous meeting with the Emperor Saurian about how he like foresees him going to Prison Island and things not going great. But then Alvis has a meeting with Yumiya and is like, so things went great, huh? We're all cool. You and I, we're cool. We're working together. We're getting things done. And she's like, wink. And they winked at each other. I thought
Alvis was our best friend, and now he's being a sneaky sneak and going around behind our back.
Is he bad?
What is the broader conflict in this game? Like,
we don't know yet.
There's a lot of people doing stuff.
Well, that's like that's a sub conflict within. That's like palace intrigue in the High Antia Castle, Alchemoth stuff. But the broader conflict is the Mechonis and Bionis, or the Mechons and humans. Basically, the machines wanting to wipe out humanity or just living creatures in general. That seems to be the whole thing.
Okay.
However, I think that there is something beyond that. This chunker seems to think... it's giving me the impression that maybe the Mechons aren't all bad. Did you get that impression from this chunker?
Yeah, Vanessa? I got some fan theories about that. But I'll get to it when we get to it, I guess.
Yeah. So you go, the Emperor has disappeared. You go talk to Malia. She's not wearing her little headdress, so you do see she does have 2 little teeny tiny wings on her head.
Tiny.
She's got little wings.
She could never fly with those. She could just flutter them on her head.
Not like her brother, whose wings are enormous.
They're so big. And you know what they say about a guy with big wings.
What do they say?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. No, I do not know.
Jim?
We cut to Metalface and the Mechon starting to attack some, I guess they're Hyantia spaceships? Jet fighters? There's some of that Star Wars-y fighting going on there. And with that, Emperor Saurian disappears, and Alvis assumes that he has headed off to Prison Island, which Shulk has seen. Shulk has seen him there, so that's where Shulk has been wanting to go this whole time. Because on Prison Island, he got to activate the full power of his Monado.
He also thinks that he's going to face off with Facebot, who killed Fiona Bot there.
Yeah,
kill him.
Fiona human, not Fiona Bot.
Right. Sorry.
Right. Is Fiona Bot confirmed?
Almost.
We're
so
not there
close. Yeah.
Okay.
So to get to Prison Island, I mean, it's this chunker, but yes. We got to push some buttons to get to Prison Island, which is basically busy work.
Yep.
There's a couple of instances of RPG busy work, and pushing those 2 buttons is part of it. Each button, pulls up half an arch, and then you can go to the arch and press another button, and then you get to go to Prison Island, which is... There's this warp facility that you can go to, and you warp to Prison Island, where there's just a lot of flying enemies. A lot of them.
Uh-huh. It sort of seemed like there was supposed to be a puzzle here with the transporters and things like that.
Yeah.
But it didn't actually play like a puzzle. I just went through some random transporters, and there I was.
I have a feeling we'll be back here later. I don't think it's the last we've seen of Prison Island.
Island.
So
is it the head of the Bionis?
I don't think so, but maybe. Who knows? You can Google it. If on the wiki it says where each island is, or each land is, but I don't. My hands are warm in my hoodie right now, so I don't actually want to take them out and press buttons.
I don't like to do that because I feel it sullies the purity of what we're doing here. I want to experience the game as I experience it, and if there's something that I miss, that's a problem with the narrative.
Right. So
not because I wasn't paying attention.
Let's see. It's its head. It's part of its head.
All right.
So there you go. According to the xenoblade.fandom.com/wiki/prison_island. Head there now. So we climb up. We have to fight a bunch of enemies, but we climb up. And also we had to fight a lot of enemies to press those buttons to get to Prison Island, but it doesn't really matter. I like the combat, though. I've been having a lot of fun with it.
I feel like I'm going to finish this game and never fully understand the combat or what's happening. I understand how to do a chain attack where I topple someone and then I break them and they fall down and then I hit them with my special "you've fallen down" attack. But there must be more than that.
There is, because there's stuff to do with elemental combos and things.
I don't get it.
I'm gonna have to watch a video on that, because I didn't get that right till the end of Xenoblade 2, the combo system, like the elemental. But I assume there's going to be something like that. So we climb all the way up, and then we see that the Emperor is there, and he is talking to... Oh, also cut to the Emperor on Prison Island. Before we get there, we do get a cut scene of the Emperor, and he's talking to, a big frost giant guy?
Yeah, it seems sort of like a Prometheus kind of situation, maybe. He's in chains, and he's been there for a long time, but he's fine. He's alive.
But Saurian seemed pretty surprised by him still being there.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think Saurian wasn't expecting Zanza, who is the big beard. Oh, big beardy, totally naked. However, his pubes cover his dong.
Yeah.
Do you think he has a dong?
Yeah.
Dong confirmed?
Yeah. You see his butt.
dong.
He definitely has a butt.
If you have a
Well, he's
butt,
got
you have a
poop.
dong. That's how it works.
Apparently, the Hyentia had chained him there like eons ago, but he's still around. He's fine. His
What's this
arms
guy's name?
are chained up. Zanza.
Zanza.
And this is when things get weird. So Shulk is like, oh, there is the Emperor talking with Zanza. And Zanza's like, hey. And also when Shulk sees all this, he realizes, oh, the Emperor's probably going to bite it here. Like, this is definitely where the Emperor is going to get killed. And he's about to explain to the Emperor, you should get out of here, when Zanza's like, hey, do you want to know what the Monado is? And Shulk's like, yeah, I kind of do. And he's like, well, how about you use that fancy sword of yours, break my chains, and then I'll make your sword super powerful.
Doesn't seem like a
sword.
great idea.
Why?
And is this after the Emperor has used his little Emperor staff to, like, activate this dude?
Oh, was he, like, unconscious before? Is that what happened? Maybe
No,
he was, like, frozen.
conscious, but then he tells the Emperor, I know what you're here to do, so just go ahead and do it. And the Emperor, like, sticks his staff into a hole near the prison, and a shield lights up, and a whole bunch of, like, lasers start flying out of the prison and blowing up the robots.
Light show.
It's a light show.
Yeah. So Shulk is like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Why not? And so he breaks the bonds that were holding Zanza to the island in a very well thought out plan.
It's always a good idea when you come across a prisoner and the prisoner is like, free me and I'm going to give you like ultimate power. Just do it.
Well, he does.
What do you have to lose?
He does power. Oh, and he's also like, well, you know the thing that stops the Monado from killing humans? That also is the thing that stops it from killing Metalface.
Yeah. Probably because it uses facial recognition software to identify what a human is. So because Metalface has a face on, it thinks it's a human.
Could it kill like a puppet, like or like a ventriloquist dummy?
I don't think it could.
If
Well,
I took a
I don't know.
photocopy of my face, would and then put it onto like a straw figure, would the Monado be able to attack that straw figure?
Probably not. I don't think facial recognition software is that sophisticated. I think it just looks for certain features and their like proportional relation to each other.
Well, I know like the iPhone detects depth, so you can't use a picture. You can't unlock someone's phone with a picture of them.
Oh, is that so?
But in older phones, like the Samsung one that used the similar Face ID, you could totally just wave a picture of someone in front and it would unlock.
Very interesting. I'm always afraid to set Face ID to my phone because, like, what if my face changes? What if I fall on my
Why would your
face or something?
change?
Well, you can have more than one way of unlocking your phone. Like you can put in a pin and what I do is like pin and thumbprint. So
Yeah, I do thumbprint and pin.
I have to use face recognition technology for my job, and I'm always worried that, like, what if I fall down and then I have to put, like, a Band-Aid on? Will it recognize me?
Like if you had to wrap your face like the Invisible Man.
Yeah, because I tried to use it once with a face mask on because I forgot to take it off, and it did not know who I was.
what happens if you got woman without a face?
Like, they
Oh.
took away my face?
Well, man without a face.
You were Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
That was Mel Gibson, right?
I think so.
I
Yeah.
don't know what you're talking about.
The J.J. Abrams movie. Didn't J.J. Abrams direct that movie?
Really?
J.J. Abrams
or-
directed a movie called Woman Without a Face?
No,
It's called Man Without a Face.
I think that he would have been he might have written it, but I don't think he was directing stuff back then.
Oh, directed by Mel Gibson.
Ugh.
Are
Yeah.
you confusing the Billy Idol song Eyes Without a Face with a
Yes.
movie?
Well, was confusing that with Man Without a Face and Woman Without a Face.
Right, but that's not a movie directed by Mel Gibson. That's
There
a
is a
song.
Mel Gibson movie where his face got burnt off. Yes.
Yeah, and it was called Man Without a Face.
It's ringing a vague.
Oh no, I'm thinking of
irritating
Regarding
bell.
Henry.
What?
Totally different
Yeah,
movie, and his
he
face
wrote-
does not come off.
He wrote Regarding Henry.
What about Face
And-
Off?
The
No,
faces
that was
do
John
come off in that.
Woo.
Who wrote Face Off? Was it John Woo? Was it Harrison
Who
Ford?
wrote it? I
Was
don't
it
think
J.J.
so.
Abrams?
It was probably J.J. Abrams.
Who wrote Face Off? Mike Webb and Michael Cleary.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike and Mike.
Yeah.
When the trailer for Face Off first came out, my mom was insisting to me that it was a movie about taking their faces off, and I'm like, clearly that's not what it's going to be about. That's insane. Like, they're just using it as a metaphor, and maybe they'll like make rubber faces of each other or do reconstruction, but they're not actually going to take their faces off and put them on each other. Like,
That movie
nobody
is
would
funny
make that
because
movie.
their bodies are so different. Like it's John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. They couldn't be more different.
And they never address, like, they never show them, like, getting their legs broken to change their height or anything like that.
Yeah, or like having to practice the other's walk or anything like that.
Or change their bone structure, even.
Yeah.
Is that movie worth watching again? I haven't seen it. I didn't like it when it came out.
I don't think so.
100%.
Oh,
No.
wow. Vanessa loves Face Off. Because
It
of
has
it's because they
brilliant
are
finale.
facing off against each other, but also their faces come off.
It works on multiple levels.
Yeah.
And you get to see Nicolas Cage at his most seductive, talking about eating peaches.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, speaking of faces, so Metal Face shows up, and
Listeners, Jim is wearing a shirt called Peach Daddy. It says that right
I
on
am
it.
wearing my Peach Daddy shirt.
And I just want everyone to know that's happening. Moving on.
so Metal Face shows up, and Lady Mechon shows up, and they're like disagreeing with each other. And at one point, does Metal Face at this point like damage Lady Mechon, and that's why she crashes?
He sort of like hits her, and she's
He's
like,
like,
"We're not
"Shut
your
up."
enemy. We want to be friends." And he's like, yeah, shut up."
Yeah. And Dunban is trying to, because Shulk is still powering up the Monado, so Dunban's trying to like delay things. And as he fights Metal Face, he's like, I know this guy. He fights like ... And Metal Face is like, ugh, I don't want to fight with this woman. This woman sucks. I'm just going to disable her mech. And she crashes a bit, and you see that she's got like there's a human inside. There's the Lady Mechon has a lady inside her cockpit, and she's wearing a real Evangelion like flight suit. But Shulk, everyone turns and is like, wait, is that? But she's wearing a helmet, so they're not 100% sure. But Shulk is like, wait. And then you see a bit more of her face because her visor slides up, but she's still got a little bit of covering on it. And she's like, all right, mission accomplished. And they fly away. And Shulk says, Fiora?
So good.
Dramatic.
But also, I forgot one thing. Metal Face does throw that spear, the one that he was previewing at the end of the last chunker, saying how great and powerful it was. He did throw it right through Zanza.
Right.
Oh.
And he's like, "You'll never unlock the full power of the Monado now." Ha ha ha.
But we already did.
Before Lady Bot flies away, she sort of has a telepathic conversation with Zanza. Do you remember that? She's like, "Hey, Zanza, how long are you gonna do this kind of business for? Come on, buddy. Let's knock it off." And he's like, "No, I'm Zanza."
But Zanza's already looking pretty dead, but he's somehow talking to her.
He's dead, and he talks to her, and then after she leaves, he talks to Shulk, And he's like, Shulk, the power of the Monado was inside you all along. All you have to do is click your heels and say there's no place like Monado. And you can use the Monado to kill wherever you want.
Mental Face does kill her dad, Malia's dad.
Right, as predicted, because Shulk has been knocked to the ground. However, so the dad had a vision that this was coming, that, that other guy seer showed him. Shulk knew this was coming. Shulk told everyone, and nobody did anything to, change that it would happen.
Yeah, I mean, the Emperor knew that he was going to die here, too, but he still did it.
They all knew the exact moment it would happen. All he had to do was, step out of the way of that claw swipe, and he would have been fine.
He decided not to. And he does, unfortunately, die here. And Malia, everyone's very sad. Everyone's crying. Malia's super upset. Shulk is very upset about Fiora apparently still being alive, maybe? That seems weird.
Yeah. But not recognizing him.
And Dunban's also concerned about Metal Face, who he seems to recognize. So something's up. Everyone is. The best thing about this whole long cutscene is this is, I think, the second use of when things get super dramatic in Xenoblade. They have an opera singer on the soundtrack.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good. I love it when she shows up. It's
distracting because the dialogue is still going on, and then she's in the background being like,
she's like, oh, la, 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 oh, la, la, ah. And she gets so high and loud, and they're all yelling, like, Fiora, Father!
I can't believe what just happened.
I genuinely got chills. I was streaming it, and I was streaming it like this the whole time because it's so right, this is an audio podcast. My hand on my face, my mouth open, agog with just the height of drama. I don't know if we played a game this dramatic before, this level of anime.
Oh, surely.
With that heightened music and emotion and screaming and...
What's that one game that you really liked, John? The one that with Chandler being in it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too. The one with
Fallout New Vegas?
Yeah. No, with the Chandler being character guy.
Yeah, and he's in love with the
Fallout New
teen who wears a bikini.
That guy with his mommy.
The two twins.
His mama.
Oh.
Mama.
Yeah, that's up there too. That is, you're right.
What is that game called?
Lost Odyssey.
Thank you, yes.
You're right. That is a pretty dramatic game too.
Yeah.
And I guess Final Fantasy VIII gets up there with near the end when time is folding and stuff. But it doesn't.
Yeah, I think the non-reaction from Squall to everything just kind of sucks the drama out of the scenes, I think.
And there's no voice acting other than the singing. There was voiced singing at that part with the eyes on me and the spaceship and all that. But
sure.
This just works for me. It gave me chills. I love this scene. I think this is for me one of the most emotionally fun and just so bonkers cutscenes, and I love it. And I love how it just keeps heightening the tension and the drama and the music, and this is why I like games. I like stuff like this a lot. I like being moved emotionally by games like this, especially when it's a little ridiculous. There's a naked blue man with white pubes there chained up to a mountain and robots are fighting, but there's a lady inside the robot who's this guy's dead girlfriend. And
cool.
Yeah.
Also, because I refuse to let Shulk wear a shirt, it always looks a little bit funny. I have given him some glasses now, too.
This is like in Lost Odyssey when I made sure to have the stupidest accessories on everyone during cutscenes. So, we head back to Alchemoth. Before that, we do see Lady Mechon, who is looks like Fiora, and she's like, so I want to find out more about this Shulk person, because he seems to know who I was before this. And the mech's like, is that what you want to do? And so she's alive, but the mech's alive too? Is that what's happening?
Well, when they were making this white mech, the white female mech, they said that they have to give it a soul. So I feel like somehow they're using the human body to give the mech a soul, but perhaps it's not the same soul that the human had. Although the other mech seems to remember his life and still have the same thoughts and feelings about it as he did when he was alive.
And it doesn't seem to be talking to itself in the same way that the Fiora mech is.
Yeah.
And they keep referencing Egil, like both the Lady Mechon, like they seem to have a boss who is a third thing, not a Mechon or a Bionis. There's another guy, Egil. We have not met yet. Cut to Alchemoth, and Callian says, we were wrong here at Hyentia for not getting involved and letting the humans defend these Mechon attacks. From now on, we will be part of it, and we will help the humans and the colonies and the Nopon defend against these Mechon attacks.
Why is he making all the decisions? He's not the crown princess.
That's what I was wondering. I was so confused. Well, now that okay, is she still crown princess, or is she now empress because her dad's dead?
I believe that you're crown princess until you are crowned empress, perhaps?
Okay. Coronated?
Although,
probably.
Old Charlie became king as soon as his mother died, and he
Charlie!
He hasn't gone through his coronation yet.
So, I thought King Charles definitely... I thought they've done that already. Haven't
the
they?
coronation?
Yeah.
Did they?
I thought so. I thought that was done, right away.
Not with the whole crown and everything, and the pommel and the thingy. I would have remembered that, surely.
I thought that was right, before her funeral. But I could be wrong.
They signed some papers and things like that, but, I mean, remember when Elizabeth was crowned, they closed down the streets and went through the streets, and then they have a big, huge public ceremony. They get out the oldest crown jewels and that very old spoon and everything. Oh,
you're right. Yeah, it's May 6th.
Ooh, mark your calendars.
My
invitation hasn't come yet.
So, Malia's like, well, I guess that we need a diplomat to really reestablish relations between the Homs and the Hyentia. So I should probably take that job. Even if I'm not going to be the greatest at it, but I'm going to be better than my brother probably. So I need to leave the party. And then Kellian's like, actually, you know what? You don't need to leave because look what we've got here. And Riki's like, what? There are two princesses? Because there's a Kiera Knightley to Malia's Natalie Portman there in her mask.
They have a live model decoy.
It's a real episode 1 thing, because in the cutscene at the beginning of this chunker, Malia mentioned that she doesn't appear without her mask in front of the Hyentia, so they don't see how human she really is.
Yeah, so they don't see her sad little head wings.
And her little teeny tiny head wings. So I guess, and Kellyan also orders her to keep traveling with Shulk to see this stuff through, because they're going to find out the secret of the Bionis, of the Mechonis, and what's going on. Because no one knows. Everything seems pretty weird right now. But to find out more, they're going to have to head to Mechonis. That means crossing the sword that is stuck into the body of the Mechonis. Yes. To get there, they'll have to go through Valak Mountain, which you head to pretty much right away. You actually go there. You take a nice fancy ship, fancy space fantasy ship over there. That was fun.
Little purple-haired boy comes with us.
Yeah, but he's still not a party member.
He's not a party
we forgot
member.
something. Right when you all left to go back to Alchemoth, Alvis did have a little conversation with the body of big, bulky Blue Daddy. He's like, so...
And what did they say?
He's nothing like concrete, but he's like, so is everything going according to plan or something? He's like, yeah, everything's good. The voice of Zanza was talking to Alvis. I don't remember specifics. I don't think they said anything concrete, though. It was more like ominous talking. Once again, Alvis shows himself to be kind of suspicious.
Yeah, he's second sus, and it's always sus when someone gets in your party and you aren't allowed to give them armor or things like that. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a huge red flag.
He's not even controllable. He's not a party member at all.
Ladies, if he joins your party and you're not allowed to change his equipment and he's not even controllable, red flag.
That's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Alvis joins you in the walk through Valak Mountain, which is a very snowy part of the game. I like a snowy area.
It's snowy, but it's also slippy in a couple places, and I don't like that.
And you can get stuck on a geyser that like lifts you to a secret area and stuff too.
Oh, can you? I saw that geyser, but I was afraid to touch it.
Touch it. It like the game the graphics break a little bit, but it does take you to a secret area.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can use that and talk to some people up on another platform. There's some hot water geysers. The Nopon who are doing some archaeological digs in the area tell you to try the hot water baths, but I haven't unlocked any secret swimsuit episode cutscenes yet. I think I didn't have enough. I didn't have a high enough relationship between Ricky and Shulk at the geyser, because there is a Ricky and Shulk cutscene there. A heart-to-heart that you can unlock.
Do you think which one do you think is perving on which? Because if it's going to be a hot tub scene, one of them is going to be perving on the other one.
Well, Ricky said something like a little pervy to Charla this past time, and also there. Did you notice? Well, you did notice because there was a whole cutscene of Malia and Charla being like, you should act on it, you should tell Shulk that you like him because he's gonna have other fans in the fire. He's a hot twink. And Malia's like, I don't like him in that way. And she's like, or do you?
Yeah, she's like, I'll keep an eye on him. And then she's like, thank you.
And all of Charla's flirting with Ryan is about how much she reminds him of her maybe dead ex.
Yeah, which is what every man wants to hear.
Mm-hmm.
To feel like you're an emotional replacement for another man.
Her maybe dead ex, then. Hello? What's all this? I'm like your dead ex. Oh, how about I be the how's your father? You apparently have to go to get to the arm. You have to go through this tower, but the tower in another very JRPG side quest moment, you have to find some lava rocks and beat a monster to get these lava rocks, and that just felt like something out of Breath of Fire or Phantasy Star right there.
Yeah, Jim, he said lava rocks.
Yeah, lava.
I assume that's just a Canadian dialect.
All right.
Yeah. Not every, pasta, lava.
Pasta?
Yeah, pasta.
You could at least try to sound, at least pretend it's an Italian word.
Canadians say A's different. That's all I'm saying.
Canadians say A all the time is what they do.
Lava.
Sorry.
Am I supposed to say lava? Is that what you want me to say? Vase and lava?
You don't have to chew on it.
Lava.
Lava.
Mm-hmm. I also say lever.
I like that because it reminds me of a Muppet Show sketch. They had Paul Simon on, and the Muppet who loved to pull his lever sang a song about 50 ways to love your lever instead of 50 ways to leave your lover.
Oh, okay.
Which one liked to pull his lever?
So,
when you say it, it sounds dirty.
yeah,
When you said it, it sounded dirty.
It did sound pretty dirty, Vanessa. I'm going to side with Jim on that one. So, did you guys have any problems fighting the lava monster in the lava room when you needed to get that lava rock?
No.
Okay. Well, you grab the lava rock and you go back and melt the ice that was freezing the door to this tower shut. And I guess Alvis wanted to show you, like, oh, this is the room where your parents died, Shulk. It's like, oh, yeah, remember this? Your mom and dad totally bit it here. This is,
Yeah.
you probably find some frozen blood of theirs here.
Yeah, but Shulk has some questions now. For the first time, he starts, like, maybe getting a little bit suspicious of this guy. Or maybe he's just asking questions. But he's like, hey, you're a seer. I have visions because I touched the Monado. You're talking about how you've been here before. What's even your deal? Can everyone in your family see visions? And he says, not everybody can, but every member of the family is brought here to touch the Monado to see if it unlocks their vision power.
And he's like, it's really not my habit to intrude, and furthermore, I hope my meaning is not lost or misconstrued, but I'll repeat myself. At the risk of seeming crude, there must be 50 ways to love your lever.
50 ways to love your lever. Oh, that's a good Muppet Show sketch, and people should seek it out, unless I have made it up in my head, which is possible.
You might have. I don't know of a Muppet that loves levers. There's the one who likes exploding things.
It was very similar to that. There's the explodey one. There's the one who likes to throw fish.
Aren't they they're the same guy, I think.
Are they?
The one who yeah, I think that he throws
Are they
fish and
both
has...
New Zealand?
I don't know.
His name is New Zealand.
Jim has officially walked off, which does make this now a Johnny Vanessa episode.
Johnny Vanessa 2 for, you know what that means. We can do what we want. We can talk about Sierra games. We can talk about show tunes. We can sing even more than we usually do. And some people will turn off the podcast.
Do you think 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover is Paul Simon's best solo song?
No. I think Paul Simon's best solo song is Call Me Al.
Oh, really?
Man walks down the street, he says, why am I soft in the middle now? Why am I soft in the middle? The rest of my life is so hard.
I need a photo opportunity. I need a shot of redemption.
Don't want to be a bone digger in a bone digger graveyard.
Bone digger, bone digger. Something in the moonlight, yeah.
Yeah. Something's not amusing anymore. And
That's a good
if
song,
you'll be my Johnny God, I can be your long lost pal.
Da, 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 da. I can call you Nessa. And Nessa, when you call me, you can call me Johnny?
Yeah, that's what you like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I respect it.
Yay!
Yay!
All right. Well, let's just keep going. So you, Shulk remembers like a little bit about that room. He remembers being there before, and he still has a lot of questions about Alvis's weird psychic thing. But he's like, okay, you touched the sword, and then you became psychic. I guess that makes sense. But they did say that they locked the sword away and there was lots of traps and stuff, but they don't seem to really say that was the traps that killed his parents. And he's like, maybe the Monado killed his parents?
Clear. Well, some people can't use the Monado at all, right? Like it makes them sick.
Yeah, well, Dunban, he gets sick from it. Ryan couldn't use it at all. Shulk doesn't seem to be exhibiting the same kind of like life-sucking powers of the Monado. But he does say, Alvis does say that this is the Bionis' sword. And Shulk's like, well, the Bionis is like thousands of miles high. How could that possibly make sense? And Alvis is like, well, it's not actually... It might have been Zanza that said this. It's not actually the size you think it is. It's like an illusion.
That doesn't make any sense still, though, because they walk around on his sword.
Yep.
Are they walking on the same sword that they're carrying?
Maybe it's a timey-wimey kind of thing.
Is the snake consuming its own tail?
Maybe. There is a heart-to-heart here you can unlock where Ricky and... I think it's Ricky and Charla? Or is it Ricky and Malia? At any rate, Ricky is like, this place has lots of spooky wooky ghosts. I should smacky wacky these spooky wooky ghosts. And someone who I can't remember if it was Charla or Dunban or someone's like, maybe you shouldn't do that because I think this is where Shulk's parents died, so they might be the ghosts that you're hearing. And Ricky's like, oh yeah, one was asking about Shulk and seemed to be talking about Shulk a lot. So I guess I won't give these ghosts a smack. I'll leave them alone. What? But he can hear Shulk's ghost mom.
Wow. I did not expect Ricky to be that in touch with the dead.
He does have big ears.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that was an interesting cutscene I unlocked. There was another really dumb one that I unlocked too, but I can't remember what that one was. But I'm starting to get more heart-to-hearts now, and they're great. I love them. And Vanessa did tell us about using the... what's the name of the connection screen that has... That connection
Affinity.
screen scared me. Did you zoom out on that connection screen?
Yes, there's so many people you can form connections with.
What? It's like every single named townsperson has connections to other named townspeople. Mm-hmm. What?
Ugh.
What? There's hundreds of connections out there. What is
Just
all
like
that?
real life.
I just turned that off right away. I didn't want to see any of that. That's too much game. That's too much. I don't want to deal. I don't need to know this. This hasn't affected gameplay at all. I'm backing away from whatever that was.
Did you ever, like, when you were a teenager, make a little affinity chart of, like, who had dated whom and who was friends with who and who was best friends with who and things like that?
At a previous workplace, they made a sexual relations chart.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that in the workplace.
HR would like to have a word.
This was a long time ago. Several employers ago. And I was connected to it because there was one bisexual coworker.
If you could, would you like to see your universal sexual relations chart? Like, would you
Like
look
an
at the
affinity chart? But it's
yeah,
horny?
but would show like everyone who you had slept with, who they slept with, and things like that.
How far
who
back
you were
would that
connected
go?
to.
Like, I guess that could go back hundreds of years, right? As long as you're not dating only exclusively your own age range.
Yes, that's true.
Huh.
And
Yeah, that'd be
surely it
interesting.
would at some point.
Well, no, not necessarily. Because there could
All
be a
you need is one
generational break. That is true.
You know, like one person who gets around a whole bunch and runs the gamut from 20 to 99.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just start going back.
Yeah, it's true. So,
Wow.
yes, that does sound interesting. I'd love to see how far, like, direct sex connections go back. And, you know, which famous people show up on my direct sex connections list.
I mean,
historical
Charlemagne could be
figures.
on there.
Ooh.
How about you, Jim? You want to see that chart?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I feel like mine would be more interesting than Jim's anyways.
Wow.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So you leave the tower, or I guess you go up the tower and exit out the top. And what's that flying down? Who's that zooming towards us? It's Lady Metalface.
Yeah,
Lady
she's come
Mechon.
to visit.
And her little pod opens up and she takes off her helmet and she's like, so I just want to know who you are. Like, what's up?
And he's like, Shulk is like, oh my God, Fiora, Fiora, Fiora. Oh my God. And she's like, you know me, huh? And he's freaking out. And I guess she's about to give like an exposition about everything that's happening because she's like, listen, what you think is going on is not what's actually going on. And here I go to open my mouth and take a deep breath and just tell you everything that's
Her
going
fingers
on.
in
Solve
the
all
air.
the
She's
mysteries.
about to start talking.
And then again out of the sky,
Other Metal
Comes-
Face.
Metal Face.
And he's in real jerk mode. He smushes her up against a rock and then is like, hey, sup? Yeah, I got a cockpit too. Let me open it up. Boom, it's my dingle. But also it's me, Mumkhar. Remember me from the beginning of the game?
Yeah, it's me, Mumkhar, the guy who ran away. And Dunban's like, Mumkhar, how can it be? I saw you get killed. I don't understand what's going on. And
Why
Mumkhar's
would
like,
you betray
listen.
us?
Yeah, he's like, well, here's the thing. I hate you, and I always hated you. I hate your dumb face. I hate how you get to be the hero, and I'm just stupid Mumkhar. So I want the Monado so I can be the hero now. Okay? Okay.
And Dunban's like, well, that sucks. And Mumkhar like ejects out of the ship and he's like, I love this new body. It's rad. I'm so much more powerful than you are now. So look at my claws. They're like glowing red. So that's pretty cool. And then they fight. He fights, but outside of his mech, which seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, which is a weird choice for him, but I guess he just wants to like show off how cool he is now.
We trash him.
I don't know if this happened in your game, but in my game, Mumkhar kept yelling, get off me, like constantly. Like there'd barely be a breath in between yelling, get off me, and then yelling, get off me again. And that's all he said through the whole fight.
I feel like he said other things. I think he said it once or twice, but I don't think it was just like, come Guardian.
It was
like
constant.
that kind of
he was like,
repeating.
get off me, get off me, get off me, get off me.
And he
off
does
me.
at this point also
off me.
threaten.
Get off me.
He threatens
off me.
Fiora's life.
Get
He's like,
off
of course
me.
I remember Fiora. You're that dumb
Get off
sister of
me.
yours, Dunban. And he like holds a blade, one of his Mechon's blades against her. His suit doesn't seem to be like autonomous. His suit seems to just be a suit.
Did you expect his suit to be autonomous?
Well, hers is. Hers seems to be. She can talk to her suit.
Does she?
Yeah, like there was that cutscene where she's having a little chat with it about wanting to meet Shulk.
I thought she was talking to like some other robot that was flying around putting her back together.
Oh, maybe. I wasn't sure. I thought she was just talking to her mech, but you might be right that there was someone off screen or something that she was. There's definitely two female voices. One was Fiora.
Yeah. There was like a little flying like screen kind of thing that was patching her up.
Oh, okay. Okay. So,
Get off me.
did you want to talk about you had some more thoughts and suspicions about what's really going on? Do you want to talk about that before Egil shows up or after?
I want to talk about it now.
Okay.
Have you ever seen one of those things that is like a micro photograph of human skin? And
Yes.
On a human skin live skin mites that eat our dead skin cells and keep us nice and clean from all of that. Just
They
by
live in
kind
our
of
eyebrows and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, they live in our eyebrows. Some people have ones that live like in the socket of their eyelash, essentially. But that's unusual. I don't think that most people have that. But they live in our eyebrows. They live on our skin. They are, parasitic or symbiotic, depending on how you want to look at it. But they don't bother us or hurt us. They just want to munch that good dead skin that we all shed. So my theory is that the Humes or Hums, basically they're like that.
Homs.
They're like little mites living on this Bionis. And the mechs, because they're metal like a Bionis is, are like the white blood cells. And they're trying to get rid of these Hom parasites. And like a white blood cell will find a virus and it wraps it up, or it makes itself in the shape that like complements the virus, so then they stick together and the virus can't hurt you no more. I think that's what's happening.
Okay.
Are you Googling pictures of skin mites now, Johnny? I saw your little fingers going.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what they look like. Ugh, they're gross. Ugh,
No, they're your
got
friends.
Little feet.
They're your constant companions that are with you all the time.
Yuck. All right. So these little mites are my constant companions that do live on me all the time.
They do important things for you.
So Egil shows up.
Pubes too.
He is piloting or is a gold Mechon. He's like, this doesn't look like the rest of the Mechon. He's made out of solid gold, gleaming in the sun. And Shulk's like, well, this is weird. And he's like, hi, I'm Egil. You might remember me from controlling the Mechon and generally trying to wipe out humanity. How are you? And Shulk says, I'm doing great, but why are you trying to wipe out humanity? He's like, there's things you don't understand. Anyway, later, and he does take away Mumkhar and Lady Fiora, and everyone go back to Bionis. But he does he extends an invitation for Shulk to go to Mechonis and find out for himself what's actually going on.
Yeah, and the invitation is, I would say, polite but slightly sinister. He's like, you're more than welcome to visit Mechonis anytime you want to. Bye. And then Shulk has some questions, and he's like, your questions don't matter to me. He also has a very long tail, and I think that we should talk about that.
Why does a robot have a very long tail?
Why does a robot have a very long tail? Is it for balance? Is it for scale? Is it to wrap around the Bionis leg? Is it for sexuality? Does he peg?
Oh, beautiful. I love that. That was a great song.
Thank you.
So that's it for this chunker. That was the end of chapter 11? Chapter 10? Chapter 11? Something like that. We're getting towards the end of the game here. And we still have tons of questions. Like, what's up?
What's going on?
What's going on? Are the Mechon actually bad? What's Zanza's role in all this? Was releasing Zanza from those chains a bad idea? Because that seems to be a bad idea. And we'll have to find out more next time on Square Roots. But before that, did you want to choose your own adventure and talk about a fun side quest you did?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot. And the truth is, I barely remember any of them from this chunker, but I'll tell you one. I was walking along, minding my own business, and I found this ice wall. It's not the ice wall that we melted in the special tower,
But you did use the lava rock too, Mel.
I did use the lava rock, however, and behind the ice wall was a puff puff, and it was just hanging out there, and it's like, oh, thank goodness you're here. I was taken prisoner by these birds, and now I'm hanging out in this ice cave. By the way, it's time for the birds to come check on me like they do every day, so probably you should kill them. And if you turn around, they're behind you right now. So you turn around, you have to fight 4 birds, and then the Puff Puff's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for saving me. Those birds were after my secret, and goodbye.
He did say there were other Puff Puffs on the other side of the wall, but like you have to go a long way around, I think, to get to them. I didn't go do that this time.
No, me neither.
But there are more Puff Puffs you can... did you see that screen grab? I went and talked to Wifey Pawn, who has a name. It was like Ola or something. She tells Ricky that he better be bringing money home because she expects a certain standard of living, and if he doesn't meet it, she will file for separation.
Wow. Well, I mean, I don't like to judge other people's relationships. That's not true. I love it. I love judging other people's relationships. It's so good. Mm-hmm. But I do think that perhaps some couples would be happier if they were able to be a little bit more upfront with each other about the transactional nature of their relationship. Mm-hmm. A lot of people couple up for a lot of different reasons, and sometimes that's material comfort, and that usually is accompanied by physical attraction. So, one partner will have a lot of material, one partner will have a lot of attraction, and they'll just do a swapsies. They'll be like, "Hey, I'm rich, you're hot, let's get together," and it's kind of a cliche. And then sometimes they run into problems because it's like, "Oh my God, you just love me for my money," or "Oh my God, you just love me for my looks." And if they could just sit down and talk it out and be like, "Look, we both know the deal. It's fine. We're happy this way. Let's just live our lives." Wouldn't that be better?
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I think having less shame about your desires, as long as they're legal and everyone involved likes them, is cool with it. Yeah. You be upfront. Like, she'd be like, "I want to marry you because you're an up and coming hero pawn, and I like the idea of having a hero pawn get me treasure and stuff. So you got to pull your end of it because look at me, I'm taking care of these 8,000 kids we've got, and they're all very hungry.
Yeah,
and I like a comfortable life.
And people like what they like. Like, I'm only attracted to B or C list celebrities. That's just the way I'm wired."
Mostly with floppy hair.
Yeah.
And or magical prowess.
Yeah. Well, how many bald magicians do you know?
None.
Come on. Grow up, Jim.
Yeah.
The magic is in the hair follicles.
Yep.
They're essentially all like Samson. If you shave a magician's head, they can't do sleight of hand anymore.
Mm-hmm. You can see all their tricks in the reflection that comes off their
Did you see that
That's
there's
right.
a remake of Night Court coming to NBC this year or next year?
Really?
Yeah.
No.
There's an all new Night Court. I don't know. It's got I think it's kind of a cast of unknowns sort of, which is fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I wonder if it's going to be like a 3-camera sitcom or if it's going to be more like 30 Rock or.
I like that a lot of sitcoms are just bringing in a lot of unknowns. I think it adds a lot to the casting.
And also,
That's what they did for Friends, and look what happened.
There's going to be season 3. I mean, Courtney Cox has been in movies and stuff for years before that. Jennifer Aniston was in Leprechaun.
for sure.
Jennifer Aniston had a star-making turn in the first Leprechaun film.
Star making.
Yeah, exactly. And
actually, it's kind of a Leprechaun lore that for the longest time Jennifer Aniston refused to acknowledge that she was in that movie.
Oh, really?
Like she would, like, in interviews she would ask about it and she would pretend not to know what it was.
That's great.
That's kind of funny, though.
Yeah.
So there's one side quest I do want to talk about, because I talked to Vanessa about this too. There is a lady, I think she's a Hyentia in Alchemath, and she's like, I really need a new skincare regime because what I've got here doesn't work for me. So why don't you kill these sentient, like, big dudes that those, what are they called? Homes?
Homes?
No, they're the ones that have the, they're like little mouseketeer guys or something. Little rodent guys. They ride hone. I think it's hone. You know what I'm talking about? They ride these like big giants that they like strap and like carry cargo on. And she's like, yeah, kill.
Yes, I do know what you're talking about.
Kill those guys so that you can get their face masks that they wear, which obviously shows they're like sentient. I mean, it might be that the Hones put them on.
Yeah,
them.
it
But
must be.
I had
Just
to
because
kill...
someone puts a sweater on a dog doesn't make a dog sentient.
I don't know. Have you ever... Okay. Depending on the dog, I think some dogs are more emotionally intelligent than others. Like the smaller a dog is, the dumber they usually are, at least according to me. But with like a larger, smarter dog, like my roommate's old dog, he would, like, one time I was making sandwiches and realized I didn't have any mayonnaise. So I went to the store real fast, like 2 minutes. I came back and the sandwiches were all gone. And I looked at his dog, and his dog saw me and then like dropped his head and like hid in the corner. That's emotional intelligence right there.
My dog does that whenever, like, I can immediately tell when he's done something he shouldn't, because I'll look at him and his ears will go back and he'll just like start like sulking.
Yep. The dog knew he should not have eaten my sandwiches and looked so sad about it, but he totally did. Anyway, so where was I? Anyway, she's got me to kill, like, she wanted 5 face masks, which I understand. You don't want just one. You need, like, it's a routine, a nightly routine, and she wants to get her skincare results. I had to kill, it was a rare drop item. I probably killed like 30 or 40 of those things.
Wow.
To get enough that she needed. And yeah, she's like, I didn't even get a thanks because it was just quest complete, but I just felt so bad doing that.
Did you kill ones like in the city that were walking around doing labor?
No, but they were doing labor for the Hones that were riding them and their little basket on top.
When you killed them, would the homes fall off them and look at you and then run away?
You had to kill those things too.
You killed the homes?
Yeah, the little Hones or whatever they're called. Hode? Hode. That's it. Hode. Yes,
well,
I
we
killed...
kill a lot of sentient creatures, though. Those little bird guys, like, a lot of them wear armor.
Yep. I felt horrible doing this task. It just seems... And also to rebuild a bridge, you have to kill a bunch of Hodes instead of... You could have... These guys are sentient. You could have traded stuff to get those masks, traded stuff to get those planks to rebuild the bridge. I rebuilt the bridge that connects that one part to the other part that you flew to. But, you know, they aren't even going to try and bother trading with the Hodes. They just kill them. To me, that seems weird.
I mean, I don't know.
So anyway, her skin is probably glowing now. And that's what matters. Did you find any bullshit minigames other than the terrifying chart of affinity? And I did, I also liked trying to figure out which bugs. So they like, not only do they like bugs, but they like some bugs more than others, or flowers, or parts, or strange items.
Yeah, it's like a whole Persona style gifting system, really.
Or the Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball had a very similar gift giving system to this.
Sure, yeah, I'm very familiar with that game. I play it all the time. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you got to get Christy on your side, or Agane. You know all the Dead or Alive girls.
Oh yeah, of course.
With their giant hearts that you're trying to win over.
Their giant talent.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's it for this chunker. Next time, defeat, unless this is too long, we'll find out. Defeat Sureny Telethia. Sureny Telethia.
We're going to do our best, but peek behind the curtain. You're listening to this on Boxing Day, but we are recording it before this upcoming holiday weekend, and we might just be too celebrated out.
Yeah, we'll try our best, and it might be too long of a chunker because it's very hard to tell. Sometimes, like these, like it looks short on a list of things to do, but it just takes a long time. And this chunker took me 10 hours, but I was doing tons of side content.
Mm-hmm. I've been playing it while I watch like
6.
Advent unboxing videos, so I haven't been keeping track of how much time I've been playing it.
I just look in my save game files, and it was like 27 hours, and now I'm at 36 and a half or something. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm getting my way through this game. And I really like trying to build. Have you been building up the colony at all? That's fun. That's a fun side quest.
I've done a little bit, but I never seem to have the material that they want.
They're very rare drops. And like the stupid fossil monkey took me. I don't even know if I found it yet. The fossil monkey. I was looking through all these different areas to find it, and like looked on the guides on where it's more likely to spawn. But yeah, everything you need for the colony is like rare blue dot pickups, basically. So good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. Jim, what are you roundly for or squarely against today?
I'm roundly for Big Pubes Man, Zanza. I like this element to the story, and I think it's going to get really cool.
Well, you know.
I do.
All right, I'm very excited about that. What about you, Vanessa?
I am squarely against the slippy ice patches in this snowy level. I was trying to fight some beasts and get into position to do my combos, and I was just slip sliding all over the place, and I just don't think it's necessary, not in this day and age. And I had even bought like ice walking shoes or whatever they're called for my people, but they don't have any practical effect on the game as far as I can tell.
I did put Shilk into ice sandals, but I've mostly got people in pretty bulky armor now. Somehow, Charla still, even though she's got a bulky armor, it still shows her thong. But she just, that's her thing. She likes showing it off. That's cool. I totally understand.
Yeah, I guess it's okay. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do.
Meanwhile, I'm squarely against killing so many of these like intelligent creatures for very stupid, like getting masks or planks and things. It seems unnecessary and cruel. Yeah. So, did we get any emails? Did you find any emails in our email box, Vanessa?
No, I found nothing like that.
Nothing.
So instead of an email, I would like, before we read our messages, patron information, to wish you, Johnny, and you, Jim, a very happy holiday.
Oh, you as well. And to all of our listeners, I hope you all have a very safe and happy holiday.
And if you're like, I don't celebrate holidays, yes, you do. Everyone celebrates New Year's.
You have to.
You have to. It's the calendar.
Yep. You cannot get away from it.
You can't get away from it. You can't run away from it. No matter what you do, New Year's will come.
Jim, other than the inevitable progress of time, why don't we talk about the Patreon?
Did you just ask me about the Patreon?
Yeah. What's it all about?
Sure. Well, at patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast, we have what's the word I'm looking for? A shitload of content available for your listening pleasure. At the $3 level, you get access to all of this great content. We've got discussions about games and ranking episodes. We've got a Jeopardy game that John hosted recently. We've got some level up episodes. There's just a whole bunch of stuff in there. At the $5 level, you get access to all that sweet content, plus the privilege of voting on games that we play here on the show. I don't know that we're quite ready to announce what the theme is going to be for next year's votes. I think we
talked about it on the last episode.
I guess we did, didn't we?
But Matthew has not agreed or not. He's just remained silent on that, so he might not agree.
Yeah, we need a big group thumbs up for that. That's but we're close, and I think we're going to have a really great theme for next year. So look forward to that. And as a bonus for all of our patrons, no matter what level, every week we like to personally thank some of them, and I'm going to kick us off this week by thanking Nofford, Kyle, Aaron, Serenity Now, Little, Kristen Ingram, Orcus the Great, Nick Moriarty, Armin Hammer, Julian Curtis, David Arnold, and Teen Wolfhard Bumpkins.
And I am ready to thank. Wait, no, this is
her favorite listeners on the Patreon.
Favorite listeners who I am ready to thank because, these of course, I would
people,
not
just all of them she likes so much.
Yeah.
These listeners, like, a good 10 or so of her favorite listeners of all time.
A good 10 or so of my favorite listeners of all time are as follows. Robert T., Eric Garby. Vanessa's mom keeps lava rocks to help with muscle soreness. Yeah, pretty much. Dixon Your Mouth. Ari Copavara, Esteban Gonzalez, Mostly Rational Person, Jerry Schreffler, Andy Smith, and friend of DeSoto, Aaron O'Toole.
See, I'd like to thank Sean Gonzalez, Rochelle, Tracy, Sean Walsh, Hang It Up, Justin Rosh, Wad Chaldrus, Alexander Jokika, Fresh Oys, Chris Sasaki, and Justin Ham.
All right, friends, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to send us an email to have read on the air, we are squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us on our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people, or find us on Twitter @SquareRootsPod.
So how is our Twitter going? Are you finding lots of engagement on that hell site?
It's going really good. I know that you, Johnny, are on a Twitter break or possibly permanent hiatus. You were.
I don't think he's going to be. I don't think Elon Musk is going to be on there for very long. I think he's going to sell or whatever in the next month or two. And I'm still on there. Like, I use it to post pictures from my Switch, and also to look at. It's the only way to find fast traffic info and road closures, and I'm sure there are better ways of doing it, but I still go on there. I deleted the app from my phone.
Yeah. Probably good if it wasn't making you happy and was making you unhappy. There's no need for you to have it. I miss
all the memes. I miss the memes.
Yeah, maybe I need to be more diligent about sending you in particular the hot Twitter memes and trends. But what was your question? How's it going on Twitter? It's fine. The other night I had insomnia, and I spent a good chunk of time, like an hour on Twitter in the middle of the night, and the only people were up who were people in other countries. It's kind of fun to connect with your fellow man in that way, you know?
All right. Well, I'd like you to rate and review and subscribe on iTunes, Ghana, Spotify, Stitcher, Zelko, Dweevils, or Bing Dong. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links in the show notes.
All right, everyone. For Square Roots, I am Jim Banks.
I guess this is me. I'm Matthew Van Zandt. Oh, God, it's still coming.
Oh no!
And Matt's screaming in anguish from the toilet.
And I'm Johnny Brandon.
And I'm Vanessa.
Bye.
Bye.
Is it cutting out? Is it cutting out when I sing that now? And hear the angel voices. Oh, they cut. Just so you know, they cut that Zoom call on me. That Zoom call ended. Matthew, I can't believe they did that. It's just me here now. Goodbye, and have a good night.